We know that that this earthquake happened in the very early hours, not early, very early hours, but the early hours of this morning, about 7:49 Beijing time. Now, China is one time zone, but in these far western provinces, what quite happens is that there is sort of a local time situation, and it was around 6 a.m. local time. What that means is that a lot of people would have been asleep, they would have been indoors, they maybe would have just been waking up, getting ready for work. So when this earthquake struck, a lot of people would have been at home. And that's one of the reasons why officials now fear that this death toll, already standing at 23, according to China state-run television, they're fearful that this death toll may in fact go up as rescue workers slowly make their way through these buildings, which by all accounts, very crude buildings made of wood and earth, these buildings which have collapsed. Now, phone services to a town, Jiegu, which is near the epicenter of the earthquake, have been restored. We did hear from one witness who was interviewed who said that rescue services are on the scene, that they are trying to go through what's left of many of these buildings to get out those people who have survived this earthquake and take them to whatever medical care they need. But this is a very remote, a very poor part of China as well. A very similar situation to what we saw 2 years ago with the Sichuan earthquake. It was very difficult for emergency services to get into the epicenter of the earthquake then. Similar situation now, Colleen.
Yeah, and you know, when we look at these Google Earth maps as you're talking there, John, you do get a sense of how mountainous this area is. So when you couple that mountainous terrain with such a remote region, it has to be very difficult for the rescuers. How much do we know about this area in terms of population? I mean, we say remote, but to the rest of the world, I mean, what does that mean in China? Do you have a sense of what the population here is?
Well, we know that the county population is about 80,000 people. And in terms of China, that's actually quite a small area.
Yeah.
In other places, that would be considered a fairly built-up area. But 80,000 people live in this county area, so that means 80,000 people are probably living somewhere within this quake zone, have been directly impacted by this tremor. Just to relate it back to the previous earthquake that we had here, most of the damage was done in Sichuan, which was 30 or 40 miles away from the epicenter of the earthquake. So that's quite often what happens in these earthquakes. The epicenter, there may be no one who lives there, the damage there may be minimal, but most of the destruction and death takes place away from the epicenter. What is concerning in particular about this earthquake is that according to the U.S. Geological Society, the tremor happened about 10 kilometers below the surface. That is a very shallow earthquake, and that is why there is this expectation that there will be a lot of damage, that this death toll, already standing at 23, will rise as emergency crews and rescue teams make their way through all of these damaged buildings in that part of China.